Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 629. I'm Laura, also known as Lola.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Saturday the 23rd of September. Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns. And, what does your shirt say? Reader's gonna read?
Yep.
Okay. I couldn't tell. Mine says, which is a reference to a YouTube show with Trixie and Katya that I really like. And the typeface reminded me of My So-Called Life.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, I need that.
There you go.
Yeah, so I don't have a ton, and I genuinely mean that this week because work has just been bananas.
It has been for the last month for you.
Yeah, so I've got little tiny bits and pieces, but luckily Laura has been more productive than I, even though she's had a crap week too.
It's been long. Yeah, it's been a long one. Alright, well, I'll get started. I did get some progress done on my socks.
Which number is this? Is this number 4?
This is number 3.
Okay.
But number 4 is cast on. It's just, like, that much of a cuff. So, that much. So I didn't even bother bringing it. But, yeah, this is some Greenwood Fiber Arts Superwash BFL Nylon. This is a second sock.
And it's hand spun.
And it is hand spun. So technically this is sock 7. So yeah. And that is the main thing. I'm knitting this on size 0s, top down, with a heel flap and a stretchy slip stitch heel. And just go into town on that. It is living in a Whimsy Stitches bag that I have my tape measure attached to, so I can measure things pretty quickly. I'm a little concerned about running out of yarn. So this is how much I have left, but I think I'll be okay. I was more concerned when I was doing the gusset decreases, and I was like, I don't know, but I think I'm okay now. Because I just have around 4 inches on the foot, I would say, including the toe.
Is that for both socks?
No, I've already finished.
Oh, okay.
This is sock number 7.
I didn't know if you'd already finished its mate.
Yeah,
Okay.
I finished all the first socks and wore them,
okay.
and now I'm being an overachiever and doing the second socks.
That is an unbelievable overachiever.
So that is...
So did
there.
I ever ask why you are doing these top down when that's not your default?
For a lot of reasons that have to do with like heels and stretch and a lot of things that'll be covered in the article that I can't talk about now. But it's for an article for Ply Magazine that will be out in March. So after that I can talk about it. But up until that point I really can't. And then the other thing I've been working on, and I've made a couple inches progress, is my Oink Pigments. It's the Floodlight Tee. So it's got this opening in the back that will have I-cord to close. This is the front, and I'm just straight knitting around and around and around. This is how far I've gotten since last week. And I have a little witch bucket stitch marker from Twin Mountain. They did like the little, if you grew up in the 80s, you might have had the Halloween buckets that McDonald's always did. They put their Happy Meals in at Halloween time, and they did little markers. I got mine in glitter because I'm extra, but the solid colors are a little bit easier to see. And then I have a bat on here from Birdie, who did my watch band.
Birdie Parker.
Birdie Parker. There you go. Words. I thought I was losing stitches there. I'm knitting this on size 3 needles. I'm using wood because this is a very slick linen silk fiber from Oink Pigments, and I want it to stay on the needles, although I do have, my friend Lynn gave me little llama and teach and inspire end pieces that I need to actually put on there. Like, these are super popular right now. These little, like...
Oh, like they go on the end
yeah,
of the thing.
the needle tip protectors.
Yeah.
And I also have llamas. And I have a sushi set, I think, that Holly gave me. They're super cute. So, yep. They're hanging out in that bag. I'm being like a Leslie, and this is becoming like my bag of catch-allness.
Yeah.
Like, I have the try-it-on well, this isn't try-it-on tubing, it's the barber cord. I have like a couple pairs of needles in here. I have some clips that I bought to clip the ends. Like, basically this does the same as the other, the end stoppers. You just clip right here on your needles. They're like little paper clips that look like cats. I brought them to give you some.
Wow.
I got them from a Japanese stationery store.
No, that is very random.
I am very random. There are Kinder Egg toys in here. Like a little fox that I just dropped that now lives in your floor that I'll get later because your dogs will eat it.
Yes, they absolutely will.
And that would be terrible. And all of that is living in a fat squirrel sweater size bag. Sweater? The smaller of the two.
I don't think that's a sweater.
Shawl? What does she call the medium one? Yeah, shawl.
Yeah, it's the between the sock and the sweater.
Yeah. So, anyway, I wanted to get that toy before, oop, I don't know where it went. There it is. Because otherwise, it's a fox wearing sunglasses. It'll get destroyed.
Consumed.
And that's probably not a good puppy toy. But yeah, that's it for me. For works in progress.
Okay.
I want to cast in all the Halloween socks, so I gotta finish my other socks. Hopefully this week.
So I am working on a pair of socks out of Woolens and Nosh in the fingering targi base. This is cornucopia colorway.
It's super pretty.
I probably will do another 2 stripes and then start the heel flap.
Sarah of the Gnomes just did a gnome using that colorway, and it was super cute.
That's cool. And this is living in my carrot, parsnip, like ladies' butts and legs bag. I don't know what she calls it, but I like it a lot. I got it at SSK. And I guess I should not zip my yarn in there. I learned this lesson last week. The other thing that I didn't think I'd really gotten any progress on, but it has been a week and a half since we recorded. And then I'll have to show you the bottomlessness that is my bag, since you did yours. This is the halfway sweater. This is by Jamie Hoffman. It is intarsia.
Oh, I feel like you've gotten a lot of progress done on that.
In the round. So this is where I was last week.
Yeah.
And I only know that because I had to tear because the yarn was torn, because I didn't mark it. But so I've made about 3.5, 4 inches.
Your progress pigs.
Somewhere in there, yeah. So these are progress pigs. I think these are the ones Teresa gave me, but I have some from Jude as well. But yeah, so this is where I was last week. This is where I am this week. So I'm about 5.5, 6 inches in past the ribbing. This is the center panel, which is just in the lace weight. And then I switch yarns. I have 2 separate skeins of the fingering white color. And then I didn't follow the instructions that she uses for how to do the intarsia in the round, because hers, the way that the instructions are written, it's almost like a short row kind of process. And I ended up actually reviewing several different intarsia in the round methods and picked one that Julia Farwell Clay had.
Yeah. She's pretty cool. We like her.
We like her, yeah. And I did it in the center back so that if you can see it, it'll just look like a detail.
Yeah.
But you're essentially creating an extra yarn over stitch and then getting rid of it when you come around with the other.
Very smart.
So yeah, I mean, you can sort of see it, but it'll just look like a detail.
I think that'll block right out. So. If you hadn't pointed it out, I would not have seen it. I noticed.
Yeah. So this is, I'm knitting this with hip strings. The wine color is Dionysus, and then the black lace is lead, with the periodic element. And then I will switch, once it gets up to like around bust, like mid-bust, then I'll switch the lace into a lighter color.
Cool.
But yeah, so haven't made a ton of progress. Like every night I'll do a couple rows and then
It
I'll be
adds
sick
up.
of it.
Yeah.
As far as what's in, so this is living in a different fat squirrel bag. This is her sweater, her small sweater bag. I've got 3 skeins of yarn. Those are all for this specific sweater that I'm working on. The pattern. A finished pair of socks. These are the ones I couldn't find last week. They were in the bag. So these are the Miser Brothers
Geektastic.
from Geektastic.
I got their kit this week, and it was so pretty.
You'll have to show it. The swatch, my SSK like notions pouch, a Woolens and Nosh skein of Hi Allen.
Hi, Alan.
Some locking stitch markers, some drawing pencils.
Oh, I thought those were zip ties for a second. I was like, it's kind of an interesting thing.
The end of like 4 different balls of yarn. So the sun printing
Oh, yeah.
that we did. Some napkins and some needles. All that fits in here. This needs to not go, but I'm going to have to put that away because it will get eaten. I cannot tell you how many skeins of yarn, my blood pressure just went up, how many skeins of yarn I have taken from Jordy because he loves to tear them apart and then I have to untangle them. So I can't bring myself to throw them away.
Where did you figure out where he's finding them from?
Nope.
Huh.
Because
What a
everything
weirdo.
in here is in a bag or in a box or out of his
Yeah.
reach.
So weird.
So he's getting them from somewhere. I just haven't figured out where yet.
I could see him, like, getting up pretty high, though, on his hind legs. He's getting pretty tall now.
So this is going to go up here. All right.
If he does find that one, you'll know where he got that one from.
This is true.
Hopefully he will not, though.
I finished nothing this week. Laura's got spinning.
I do have spinning. Yay, spinning. I've been spinning a lot on my Daedalus wheels. I have some bats that I'm going to start spinning that I'm super excited about. I am going to start spinning for a new sweater project, and I think I'm going to use a variety of knit spin farm bats for it.
That'll be fun.
It's that sweater that Malia had us try on last.
Mystic Square?
Yes. So I think that'll be super fun.
You really liked that one.
I did. So I think I'm going to do some long draw for that on the Shocked Matchless. So other spinning, though, that I've done are from Vicky. Started a business dyeing fiber. Her place is, her Etsy shop is Eureka Dye Works. And this is, it's still a little bit damp because I applied it today and put it outside, but like an hour and a half before we recorded, but it's pretty dry, because Mississippi. But this is berry picking on Rambouillet. It's around 350 yards.
It's a very bright red.
Yes. Yes. I like it a lot. I think I'm going to do a hat out of it.
It'd be fun mitts too.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it would be.
Stitch mitts.
And Rambo is a relative to Merino, so it's like very squishy and nice, and I really enjoyed spinning it. So if you are into fiber, you might want to check out Eureka Dye Works. So that one's fun, and that's just a 2-ply. I was gonna spin it fractal, and then I forgot. So it is not. But other things that are on the wheel this week, I finished Dreamtime by Southern Cross Fibers. This is a wool that I don't know if I've spun a lot of before. I feel like I haven't. And it is a Comeback. It's a New Zealand Australia breed. I need to look up more information about
I've
it.
never heard that one.
And David does amazing stuff. It's always gorgeous. I love his stuff. This was his club colorway? Yeah, a club colorway from a little while ago. Like this summer maybe? Not too long ago, last 6 months. So that was spun on my Starling, and it is waiting to be applied. And then it's so interesting, the difference between fiber and the yarn that it creates. So this is some Lee Chickadee. her stuff is gorgeous. This is Polworth. And I didn't grab the tag, so I can't tell you the colorway. But, like, this is the fiber. So it's really interesting to see the two side by side. I think they look very different. But in a good way.
Yeah.
If I had spun this thicker, yeah, it would be a little bit more like the fiber. But my brain wants to go fingering weight is the default now. So, yep. I also was cool enough to take a class with Heavenly Bresser. I took a hour-long Taste of Texture class, and it was about how you can add texture to fleece or fiber to create something new. It was really interesting. She actually uses like lace, like that you buy at Joann's, like the super fancy lace, fabric, and like cuts it up and adds that to her fiber. And ribbon and all sorts of other add-ins, as well as like more traditional add-ins like sari silk and neps, wool and cotton neps and stuff like that. So it was really interesting. It was just a taste. It was an hour. And my parents called towards the end, but it's recorded so I can catch that bit at the end. My mom hadn't been feeling well, so I wanted to make sure I answered the phone when they called, just to make sure.
Or you gone through half of the sourdough English muffins that she gave me?
Oh, I have eaten them all. So I think she always gives me less than what she gives you.
I got 2 bags.
Oh no, I just got one.
Okay, yeah. But she doesn't replace my garbage disposal or plant trees.
True. That tree is dead, by the way, yes. I watered it every day like she told me to, and she just thinks it went into shock. We're going to see if it comes back in the spring. But it is not looking good for the Japanese maple, unfortunately.
Yeah, today is the first day of fall, and it's almost 90 degrees. So...
That was the other reason why I was like, Leslie's not... I went to a high school football game last night, and I also knew Leslie would not want to be there because it was like 88 degrees at 8 p.m. So
I'll support them in November or late October.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the senior night as well because the band, and also because it was homecoming, the band wasn't performing at halftime because they did all the homecoming stuff. Mm-hmm. They performed after, but I did not stay that late because we were winning like 50-0.
Yikes.
It was like a small Memphis school that they were playing. You know, for homecoming, you always pick a school that you can beat by a lot usually. And this was no different. So, yeah. That's it for me for spinning. Have you been sewing at all?
A little bit. So, a lot of the past several weeks has involved me essentially being like technical support for end users who their job doesn't usually involve computers. So our levels of knowledge are different, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not me like saying they're dumb. It's just they have strengths in other areas, and they're required to do some extra steps now to verify who they are, and I'm one of the people that has to help them do that. But that means I'm on video all the time for 8+ hours a day, and today's the first day I've had off in, well, all month. I was off Labor Day, but aside from that, but during those times a lot of the steps are repetitive, so I don't have to like be super invested. I'm kind of on autopilot, and so I can.
Have you tried turning it on and off type stuff? Yeah.
I wish it was that simple.
Yeah.
But that would be awesome. But a lot of it's like explaining to a user who doesn't know what a web browser is how to clear their internet cache.
Yeah.
And like where you have to walk them through. But it allows me to like, if I've already got pre-cut pieces of a quilt top, I can like spend an hour matching them up and pinning them and getting them ready to be chained through the machine. So that's what I did, and I have a foot on my machine, a 1/4 inch foot, and so on the outside edge of that 1/4 inch from where the needle sits, there's like a little metal strip that
Like a guide?
Yeah, so don't go past here. This is where you should go. And I think mine must be off by a little bit, or maybe I push up against it. I can't really say. But I can tell you that I pieced 48 of these little blocks. This was a Craftsy kit as well. Or Sew Sampler kit, sorry. It's the 5440 plus quilt. It's a bunch of angles. Anyway. So I put 48 of these little blocks together. And there's 2 different seams here, and each one of them is supposed to be a 1/4 inch, and they're closer to a 1/3 of an inch. And while that doesn't seem like a lot of difference, you have to, once you're done, you have to, this overall square needs to be a certain measurement. I think it's 4.5 inches in this case. And when each of your seams is off, that means your whole piece is going to be off. So none of mine meet that 4.5 inches.
Oh no.
So that means I have to unpick all of these seams and redo them with narrower seams, which is my fault. I really should have, by now I should know that I need to put one block together and then I can do everything in bulk. That way I sort of learn the process. But yeah, so the last couple days has been me picking these apart while I've been on calls. I will not lie, I wanted to throw them away. But I was like, no, that's wasteful. I can unpick them while I'm on the call. And so that's what I've been doing.
And repin.
Yeah, repin them. And I'm going to measure from my needle to the edge of the foot to see if it's correct. I assume it is because they're made like in mass. And even if it is, I'm going to take a couple layers of like electrical tape to cause the edge of the foot to be closer to the needle, so it will help me create a narrower seam. Or maybe like a piece of cardboard and then a layer of tape to go over the edge. Something that'll cause it to be a little thicker so that my seam will be narrower. So if you have suggestions, I would love to hear them. What else? Oh, books. So I'm rereading the first in a series. I guess there's 7 in the series now. Gobelino London.
Huh.
A Scourge of Pleasantries is the name of the book, but it's cat and human PI team, and
That sounds very cute.
the cat can talk, but he only talks to the human, his human or whatever. He can talk to others, but he doesn't. And it's like fantasy.
Yeah.
There's witches and that sort of thing. It's cute. Yeah, I'm only in the first book, but I would say it's not romance at all at this point in any way. It's just fantasy comedy. And I finished Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. Now I'm listening to The Outsider, which I've listened to once before, and then watched the HBO series, which was very good. It was a very close portrayal. And then after that is the new book, Holly, which is sort of in the same world. What about you?
I have been doing a lot of hockey romances. Football's back, so I've been watching some football. I tried to watch Glow Up on Netflix and did not care for it, the new season.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I made it to the Trixie episode.
Oh, I have not made it. I should make it to... I made it...
It's like the next to last one.
Yeah, I made it through Bridgerton.
I can get into Bridgerton.
Yeah, like that... I made it through the first, and then the second. So, maybe I'll become more vested. I don't know. The second one's like Sephora.
Yeah.
But I also have Netflix turning off in like 2 days. So we'll see. I might do something else.
I don't know about you, but like headspace-wise, I need something happy.
Yeah.
And
I've been rewatching Taskmaster the last season because Jenny makes me laugh.
I've been rewatching the old ones again. Like, it's something good to have on in the background for me while I'm working because I don't even have to watch it anymore. I know like what happens in most of them, but I've been listening to this really messed up podcast by the New York Times and Serial called The Retrievals, and it's about the Yale fertility clinic where the nurse, was taking the fentanyl and replacing it with saline. So the women who were going in to get IVF treatment were just getting saline. They weren't getting any kind of pain medication.
Oh.
And that is a process where you need pain medication. You're supposed to be in that like twilight, not completely under, but like unaware.
I've not heard of that. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's it went on for like 5 months and affected like between 50 and 100 women.
Wow.
And nobody believed them. Like, the doctors just didn't believe them that they were feeling pain.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just a snippet into being a woman in the healthcare system.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've started to watch on Netflix. There's a sort of documentary movie about Boy Scouts and all the abuse.
Oh, nope.
And I was like, God, I just can't. Like, I'm just not in the right headspace for this.
Yeah. You can circle back around when you are in the right headspace and haven't been working every day for like 25 days straight. I've just been re-listening to Alana Andrews and
that's always a good
reading my romances and doing work at work. I haven't been reading a lot of kids stuff, although I did read Hot Dog, which was the Caldecott winner picture book last year. It was very cute. About a little dachshund who's hot in the city, so his owner takes him to the beach. And it's very, very cute and very good to read aloud. It's a little picture book. But, yeah. I
will say, if you've never been to a dog beach, you are missing out. Those dogs are so happy.
And I've just had, like, something every night this week, which is fine. But it just has been very, very busy. And we'll figure it out. Yep. I'll make time to... I've been trying to make time to craft every day. At least a smidge. So hopefully I can get that to continue. Because it definitely makes me happier on days that I can craft.
Yeah, it's...
And read.
It's like meditative. It's restorative to, you know...
I'm going to move up my little stitch marker now.
But... we have tomorrow this definitely isn't going to go up before tomorrow, but we will be doing our Patreon VKN tomorrow.
Yes.
Because it's the last Sunday of the month, and then next weekend...
What time did we pick for that?
1 p.m., I think.
Okay.
And then we can both nap afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am living my best nap life. And then next weekend we're doing scrape painting with like acrylic paint.
That's going to be super fun. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty easy, and I'm here for that.
That's the bandwidth.
And then
Sucking
the next weekend,
in the round is the bandwidth.
We're going to be out of town.
Yeah, we will.
Be seeing some friends and visiting the Quilt Museum in Paducah, Kentucky. And some quilt shops, maybe, and hopefully apple picking.
If I get my way, yes.
I love it. I'm here for apple picking.
I'm always here for apple picking.
Here, it's not the right climate for apples, so the only kind that grow are not eating apples. They're baking apples. Yeah. And it's the super dark...
Arkansas Blacks.
Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but you can't, like, pick them off a tree and start eating them. That's not, you know...
And they're not really cider apples either.
So...
Which is sad. And... we need some apple cider donuts in our lives as well. But yeah, so we will return from that, hopefully refreshed and rejuvenated and in a better headspace. Yeah. And one filled with joy, because every year when we go and hang out with these friends, everyone brings like sweaters that they've finished this year, and it's fun and enjoyable. Yeah. And
it's like the SSK, we don't have to work. You know, without classes, but it's fun. Sometimes Malia teaches us stuff. I mean, that's or Amy Beth goes and gets reeds and like braids them into rope or whatever.
That was Malia. But
was it Malia? Okay, I remember Amy Beth was the one that went down to the lake and
she was helping get the reeds. Yeah. Yep. So it's always a good time. Yeah. Always.
All right, well, you guys have an awesome week and weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
Oh, we do have a sweater, Cal, that will be coming up in November, too.
Oh, the Indigo Dragonfly.
Yep. So we'll talk
about that.
Get more details on that.
Soon.
tell you all about it.
Yeah, it's Kim McBride Evans, who is brilliant, especially with plus size knitters. So, yeah, we'll talk about it more later.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
Have a good week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.